What has gone wrong for this former cosmetics colossus? More on this story. I'm joined by consumer expert Kate Hardcastle. Kate, thanks very much for making time. I know you're on the road this evening, so we really appreciate it. Look, what do you think has happened here? There's actually sort of conspiracies abound because this firm, Aurelius, only took over the Body Shop from its previous multinational owners back in November. It seems like a very quick failure.
What we do know is these are very challenging times for the high street, and my thoughts, of course, are with every single employee for that brand who will no doubt have a passion and commitment to delivering for consumers. Certainly, the Body Shop is successful in other territories, it seems, and this is the UK operation only. And we're talking about a brand here that's nearly 50 years on the high street, a maverick and entrepreneurial brand created by Dame Anita Roddick, one that was a first when it came to things like sustainability and products that certainly dealt and looked after things like no animal testing. There were educators on the high street as well. So if you were to ask me, was there an opportunity for this brand going forward? Do I see that this is the end of the brand entirely, or perhaps a repositioning of it? I do think it's more towards the latter. This is a repositioning piece. In terms of the actual owners right now and what's happened in what's just been a matter of months since takeover, yes, I can understand from the outside eye why that might be seen as perplexing and confusing. I think there's very little appetite for huge store networks of brands that are suffering right now, because brands like this need investment and they need a lot of love and care to be able to battle on in what's a very competitive and challenging marketplace. Beauty has got a lot of opportunity because consumers will we might have heard of a lipstick economy, the idea that we do buy smaller items to bring joy when times are challenging, and we know many consumers are finding it challenging, but that doesn't mean that the marketplace isn't flooded with competition, and it's challenging to get the brand out there to make connection.
Now, I do remember quite well when Dame Anita Roddick sold the company, and she came under some criticism, or the company did itself, because they sold it to L'Oreal. And a lot of what Dame Anita Roddick was about was fair trade, making sure that no testing was done on animals. L'Oreal still says that it doesn't do that testing on animals, but it's a large multinational. So a lot of analysis today that the minute Dame Anita Roddick sold the company, it kind of lost its way. Do you think that's fair?
I think when small organisations that are maverick and more entrepreneur do move into territory where they are owned by a bigger organisation, it's probably true to say they're going to be diluted somewhat, but that doesn't mean that it can't work. It doesn't mean that large brands can't do corporate social responsibility, can't do things well. And I think in today's day and age, we're seeing that more and more. I do think the vibrancy of the economy in the UK comes from a mix of small and bigger businesses. And I do think that when you've got someone as dynamic as Dame Anita was, I was very fortunate to spend time with her. She was just a rarity. She was a unique entrepreneur that was driven and determined to succeed. I don't think for one second she would have sold her brand, her beloved brand, had she not thought that the legacy could continue. And I'm certain that she almost had a crystal ball, because she predicted a lot of the ways in which consumers want to buy today. We're talking about sustainability more and more. We're talking about doing the right thing as businesses and consumers more and more. So I do think she created a pathway. She certainly influenced and gave opportunity for others to come forward. And I can only hope that this brand will continue to do the good work it's done. It does have to reconnect with consumers and find a new voice. This is the thing. We're talking about a 50-year cycle now, and its original consumers may have moved on. There might be some loyalists, but certainly when it comes to a new generation, they're more demanding than ever, and they're wanting more from companies than ever before.
Yeah, talk about that loyalty and a beloved brand, not just for her, but for a lot of us who grew up in the 90s. It will be a sad loss if we do indeed see it close its doors. Look, Kate Hardcastle, thank you very much for joining us on the show this evening.